Based on your presentation today at the IAB's Digital Media Marketplace, it seems like you have a wonderful collaboration as client and agency. What do you think are the best advice you could give for others embarking on a relationship like this?
Well, I think that we as Unilever have so many dedicated agencies working towards the common objective, which is the brand's jobs to be done around whatever their marketing plan dictates. So we work with a media agency, we have an advanced television communications agency, we have ad agencies, we have PR agencies. So I think we have some skills in actually managing those processes. But I think most importantly, our marketers have become great team leaders in bringing everyone together and defining what everyone's roles and responsibilities are, so there's really no misunderstandings. And I think that has been, even working with these folks and Mindshare and so forth, understanding what everyone's kind of role is and how we're all kind of working together and not working against each other, I think is really important.
This year at the IAB's Digital Video Marketplace event, we've had 2 sessions devoted to ITV, which is obviously a real indication of how this medium is growing. From your perspective, I'd like you each to say why you think it's growing.
I think that there are a few things that are coming together to create, the current dynamic. Largely, it has to do with the consumer uptake, frankly, of technologies that have really been out there for quite a while. The behavior has begun to change very significantly, especially over the last several years, 3-4 years, in terms of how a viewer will utilize their remote control. And so things like video on demand and DVRs like TiVo, DVDs, the DVD menu itself, they're all giving viewers practice at using a remote control to do things other than choosing a channel to watch a particular program that they want. And that is more powerful, I think, than most people who are sort of tangentially sort of looking at ITV realize, because the technologies on their own can't produce the change, can't create the opportunity for advertisers unless the advertisers can actually reach their consumer. And so the fact that viewers are interested in using the remote control to opt in, voluntarily get involved with things other than program content is a big impetus to the changes that we're seeing out there.
Jon, what advice would you give to a marketer who has never tried ITV and is thinking about embarking on starting a campaign? What should they keep in mind?
Well, I think that ITV is just another tool in the toolbox. So for marketers not engaging in activation that involves consumers with a brand outside of just pushing a message out there, I think that's a mistake. So being able to deliver an idea that we can put in multiple channels and environments that it creates a kind of a different involvement, I think is really important. And I think a lot more people are doing it now than they have in the past, just by virtue of a very cluttered media market that we operate in. So hopefully from today, seeing some of the figures that we have been staggered by, I think, over the past few years in terms of the amount of people willing to opt in and participate with brands. When you're watching a pipeline that exists, some of the most greatest professionally driven content across hundreds of channels, I think it should be an eye-opener. So, I would encourage people to embrace it. I do think that this is a viable ad platform, and I just think that there's a lot of the operators are a little slow on the uptick in terms of understanding it as an opportunity and a revenue stream. And inevitably, the technology for the consumer who has that set-top box would be upgraded in order to substantiate that.
What is the biggest opportunity in interactive and in ITV that you each foresee from your different vantage points?
Well, it's twofold. The biggest opportunity, I think, is the ability to supplement the interactive dialogue between consumers and advertisers through the television platform. The biggest opportunity today is the fact that there is so much momentum behind it. ITV has been around for quite a long time, and I think until folks started to realize that ITV doesn't have to be complete and total convergence of the PC and the television, right? And it can be other things that make consumers feel involved. That motivation to roll out new features sort of has been triggered now, and you're certainly seeing it with things like initiatives like Canoe and a lot of the new developments and rollouts that have been occurring over the last several months. It's all feeding the momentum behind ITV, and I think that's a huge opportunity for advertisers, especially now that leaders like Unilever have set the pace and really sort of squeezed out a lot of the initial, risk involved in adopting new ad platforms.
Jon, did you want to add something to that in terms of the greatest opportunities that you see as Unilever representing so many brands?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's two-sided. One is, we spend hundreds of millions of dollars in TV advertising. I mean, that's no secret. It's published. So being able to kind of, have interactive overlays within that advertising ultimately is, an ultimate goal. And I think, to some extent, Canoe understands that may be down the road. But I think that from both sides of the equation, the people who are selling that inventory and the people that are buying that inventory see that as tremendous value, and hopefully the consumer will as well. So I think that's an incredible opportunity for us. And then on the other side, I think that having a place where you can instill a group viewing environment and have those opportunities is also a win-win. And it's not just kind of like this singular video experience that all of these other platforms are now kind of going with between mobile and PC and online in general. So I think that's a great opportunity for us.